Welcome to the Velvet Myth. I'm Adam, and I'm so happy you've chosen to spend this quiet moment with me. However your day unfolded, whatever thoughts or worries may still be lingering, I hope this story offers a peaceful place to set them aside for a while. A small refuge at the end of the day where you can simply rest. Each story is created with care, and it always means so much to hear from those who listen. If you wake feeling a little more rested tomorrow, I'd love for you to leave a comment below and let me know where you're listening from. Our little community stretches across the world, and it's always a joy to see the places from which these stories are shared. But tomorrow can wait. For now, allow yourself to become comfortable. Notice the gentle support beneath you, the softness of your blanket, the quiet stillness of the room around you. There's nothing you need to change, and nowhere else you need to be. Simply let yourself settle into this moment. Allow your shoulders to soften. Let your jaw relax. Feel the muscles around your eyes growing pleasantly heavy as the day slowly loosens its grip. With every unhurried breath, imagine the busyness of the day drifting farther away, like distant lanterns disappearing into the evening mist. Your thoughts don't need to chase anything now. No plans to make, no problems to solve, only the comfort of the present moment, the gentle rhythm of your breathing, and a story waiting quietly to unfold. Take a slow breath in and let it go. Then another. There is a moment just before something beautiful fully reveals itself, when the world seems to pause, when the air holds still and something inside you leans forward, curious, drawn by a feeling you can't quite name. That moment is where we begin. You are standing at the edge of a narrow path. It stretches ahead of you, unhurried and uneven, made from pale stones, worn smooth by years of gentle footsteps. On either side, low wooden fences line the way, draped in climbing wild grasses that brush softly against each other in the breeze. You arrived here quietly, as if the afternoon itself had guided you. And now you stand at the threshold of something that takes your breath away, just slightly, just enough. Because there, ahead of you, the lavender begins. At first, it is only a suggestion, a deepening of color along the far edge of the path, a violet-blue haze settling low over the land, like a dream that hasn't quite woken. But with each slow step forward, the fields open up before you, wider and wider, until you stop walking altogether, simply to look, simply to take it in. It is southern France, and it is the height of summer, and the afternoon is long and golden and warm, in the way that only afternoons in this part of the world can be. The sun does not press down here, it rests. It lays itself gently over the landscape like a linen cloth left in the light, and everything beneath it glows. The sky above is a pale, luminous blue stretched wide and cloudless from one hillside to the next, and beneath that sky, rolling out in every direction, as far as your eyes can follow, are the lavender fields. Endless. That is the only word that comes close. Row after row after row of blooming lavender, planted in long, even lines that move with the gentle contour of the land. Each plant is full and abundant, covered in tiny violet-blue flowers, clustered tightly along upright stems, and the rows repeat and repeat until they blur at the horizon into a single continuous wave of soft purple. It looks less like a field and more like a sea, a still, breathing, fragrant sea. And standing at its edge, you feel the particular kind of awe that comes not from something dramatic or overwhelming, but from something quietly, deeply right. This is a place that wants you to slow down. You can feel it. You take one step forward onto the path that leads between the first rows of lavender, and then another. And with each step, something shifts inside you, almost imperceptibly at first. Your shoulders, which you hadn't realized were carrying the weight of the day, begin to soften. The small, persistent voice inside your mind, the one that runs through lists and worries and things left unfinished, grows quieter. It doesn't disappear all at once, but it dims, like a room when someone turns the lights down low. And in that dimming, you begin to breathe more freely. The fragrance reaches you fully now. It is difficult to describe lavender to someone who has never stood inside a field of it in full bloom. It is not a single note, but a layered thing, cool and herbal beneath, with something sweet and almost powdery resting on top. And underneath both of those, something green and alive and earthy that reminds you, without quite knowing why, of childhood summers, of sleep, of clean and uncomplicated things. Here, in the heart of the field, the scent is not overwhelming. It is enveloping. It surrounds you the way warm water surrounds you when you step into a bath, gently and completely, and you feel yourself relax into it, the way you relax into warmth. You breathe in slowly, and you let the scent settle inside you. A soft movement of air passes through the field just then. Not quite a wind, more like the landscape exhaling, and the lavender responds all at once, the thousands and thousands of stems swaying in a long, slow ripple that moves from one end of the field to the other. It is hypnotic, this movement, like watching water, like watching something breathe. The flowers tilt together and then settle, and tilt again, and the whole lavender sea shimmers and shifts in the gentlest possible rhythm. And you find yourself swaying very slightly along with it. Your feet move slowly now. There is no hurry here. There never was. But now you feel it. Now your body understands what your mind is only beginning to accept. This walk has no destination. It has no task attached to it, no outcome to measure. It is simply this: the path, the warmth, the scent, the endless violet rose on either side of you, and you moving through them as gently as the breeze. After a while, the path begins to curve, gently, the way unhurried things tend to do, and you follow it without thinking, the way you have been following everything here, by feel, by instinct, by the simple pull of what comes next. The lavender rose thins slightly at the edge of the field, giving way to lower grasses and wildflowers, and ahead, the pale stone wall of a village lane appears between two old fig trees, their broad leaves casting a dappled, shifting shade across the ground. You step off the field path and onto the village lane, and the world changes in the softest possible way. The stones beneath your feet are different here, darker, more irregular, fitted together by hand long ago and worn down by generations of footsteps into a surface that is uneven and beautiful. The lane is narrow. Terracotta pots sit along doorsteps, overflowing with trailing herbs, thyme, rosemary, something purple and fragrant you can't quite name. Everything is still. Everything is simple. Everything belongs exactly where it is. You walk slowly, more slowly than you might walk anywhere else, and the village seems to ask nothing more of you than that. Then you hear it, low and steady and warm, threading itself through the quiet like something that has always been there, just beneath the surface of the afternoon. Bees. Not many, not a swarm, but a handful of them, moving unhurriedly among the herb pots and the flowering vines that climb the lane's old walls, humming that ancient amber hum that belongs to summer afternoons the way birdsong belongs to mornings. The sound is round and full, not intrusive, not busy. It is simply present. A soft, continuous note underneath everything else, like the hum of the world, reminding you that it is alive and working gently and quietly, as it always has been and always will be. You stand still for a moment, just listening. There is something about that sound. The bees, the warm stones, the half-closed shutters, and the drowsy village silence that makes the world feel very old and very safe, as if this afternoon has happened 1,000 times before, in this same lane, in this same light, and will go on happening long after today. And you are simply here for one of those countless peaceful repetitions. The feeling settles into your chest, like warmth settling into a room when the fire has been burning long enough. You are not a visitor passing through. In this moment, you are simply here, simply present, simply part of the afternoon. A soft sound reaches you from further down the lane, the light creak of wheels on stone, unhurried and rhythmic. A bicycle appears around the gentle bend ahead, ridden by an older man in a linen shirt, a small basket fixed to the front. He is pedalling slowly, the way people pedal when they are in no hurry to arrive, when the riding itself is the point. He passes you with a small nod, the kind of quiet acknowledgement that requires nothing in return, and then he is gone around the next curve, the soft sound of his wheels fading back into the afternoon. You watch him go, and something in you settles even further. That rhythm, the slow turn of the wheels, the unhurried pace, the sense that there is enough time, more than enough time, for everything that matters. You feel it in your own body now, in the way your arms hang loosely at your sides, in the way your feet find their own pace along the lane without any direction from your thoughts. There is no rush inside you right now, no urgency pulling at the edges of your attention. The afternoon is long, and the village lane is quiet, and you walk through it the way the bicyclist rides, as if the moving itself is enough. You round a corner and find a small courtyard, half in shade, where a wooden table sits beneath the spreading arms of a plane tree. Someone has left a pitcher on the table, ceramic, blue and white, filled with something that looks like water, steeped with a sprig of something herbal, and the sight of it makes you aware of how pleasantly warm and easy your body feels, how content. A few steps further along, from an open window above the lane, comes a smell that reaches you before you can name it. And then you can. Bread. Fresh bread. The kind that has been baking slowly in a warm oven. That deep yeasty warmth that is one of the oldest and most honest smells in the world. It moves through the air like an embrace. You breathe it in, and something inside you, something that had been holding on without realizing it, lets go. There is a small bench set against the wall just ahead, in a patch of shade where the afternoon sun has retreated behind the roofline. You sit down, not because you are tired, but because sitting feels exactly right. Because this is a place that was made for pausing. And you have learned, since stepping into the lavender, that pausing is not the same thing as stopping. It is its own kind of moving deeper into the present, into the warmth, into the ordinary and extraordinary beauty of a quiet afternoon. A ceramic cup appears in your imagination, or perhaps in your hands, warm through the clay, filled with herbal tea. Chamomile, perhaps, or something with lemon verbena, something grown nearby, steeped until it is the color of pale gold. You wrap both hands around it and let the warmth move through your palms and into your fingers and up into your arms. And you take a slow sip. It tastes of summer and simplicity, of things that do not need to be explained. The bees are still humming, somewhere nearby, among the flowers. The shutters across the lane sway slightly in a breath of breeze, and then settle. Somewhere deeper in the village, a door closes softly, unhurriedly. A cat stretches along the top of the wall across from you, regards you with calm, amber eyes, and then tucks its nose beneath its paw and returns to its sleep. You watch all of this without any desire to change it, without reaching for your thoughts or your worries, or the things you left behind when you stepped onto the lavender path. They are still there, somewhere, but they feel very far away right now, as far as another country, as far as another life. Here, there is only the warm bench beneath you, the tea in your hands, the stone lane, the hum of the bees, the scent of bread and lavender and old sun-warmed walls. Here you are safe, completely, simply, unremarkably safe. And the afternoon is not finished with you yet. Beyond the village lane, the hills are waiting, and the light is beginning to change. Not urgently, never urgently here, but softly, slowly, turning the world towards something even more beautiful than what came before. You rise from the bench as if waking from a pleasant daydream, your body loose and light, as though some invisible weight has been unhooked from your shoulders. The cup in your hands is suddenly, satisfyingly empty. You set it down on the worn stone beside you and stand for a moment in the quiet lane, feeling the air around you shift, almost imperceptibly. The light has changed. It is still afternoon, but no longer the high, bright kind of afternoon that presses down from above. The sun has begun its slow descent, and instead of glancing sharply off of stone and shutter, it pours along the lane in a softer, slanting glow. Shadows lengthen, stretching themselves lazily across the ground, and every surface seems to catch the light differently, more gently, more tenderly, as if the whole village is exhaling along with you. Drawn by that quiet change, you walk back along the lane, past the old walls and their sleepy windows, past the herb pots and the cat now fully asleep, past the curve where the bicyclist disappeared. The hum of the bees is softer now, lower, as if even they are beginning to drift into evening. At the edge of the village, the lane gives way once more to open land. The world widens in front of you, and there they are again, the lavender fields, waiting patiently, as if they knew you would return. You step out of the cool shadow of the village and into the open, and the light welcomes you. The rows of lavender stretch away in their familiar, gentle stripes, but they are different now. The sun, leaning lower toward the horizon, bathes everything in a golden wash. Each slender stem, each soft purple blossom is tipped with light, so that the fields seem to be both violet and gold at once, a quiet sea of color rolling toward the distant hills. You walk slowly between the rows, your fingers drifting lightly along the tops of the plants. The heat has softened. The air, which earlier wrapped around you like warm silk, is beginning to cool, picking up a faint crispness from the approaching evening. Each breath you take feels clean and unhurried, filled with the fullness of lavender and earth and sun-warmed grass, slowly releasing the day's stored warmth. Ahead of you, the land begins to rise. The hills that cradled the village from afar now invite you closer, lifting gently into soft, rounded forms. They are not dramatic, not steep or forbidding. They are rolling, patient hills, the kind that seem to have been lying here for centuries, watching sunsets come and go in an endless, reassuring rhythm. You find a path that leads upward along the edge of the fields, and you follow it with the same trusting ease with which you have followed everything today. The ground beneath your feet is dry and solid, a mix of soil and small stones that crunch in the most satisfying, quiet way. With each step, the view opens a little more, the fields unfurling behind you like a purple and gold quilt stretched across the valley. By the time you reach a small rise, the village is a cluster of soft shapes and muted colours nestled among trees, already beginning to blur into the gentleness of the evening. You turn toward the west, toward the lowering sun, and let yourself simply stand there. The hills roll away in soft waves, their slopes painted with vines and groves, and scattered patches of lavender that catch the light in unexpected pockets of colour. The sun is still above the horizon, but only just, and its rays spill across the land in long, molten bands. Everything the light touches is warmed, not with the intensity of midday, but with a kind of quiet affection. Fields glow, trees are edged in fire. The distant stone walls and farmhouses, which might have gone unnoticed at noon, now shine briefly as the light catches them. Small gifts, revealed just in time. You feel the warmth of the sun on your face, gentler now, less insistent. It seems to rest on your skin rather than press into it. A final embrace before it lets the day go. The breeze, which had hidden during the heat, returns in soft strokes, moving across the hills and through the lavender, carrying with it the cool promise of night. It slips under your sleeves, brushes your neck, and with every touch, your body relaxes a little more. There is a stillness rising from the land that is different from the quiet of midday. This is not the hush of heat, but the hush of completion. The day has done what it needed to do. The sun has moved across the sky in its patient arc. The bees have gathered what they came for. The village has baked its bread, poured its tea, lived another simple, gentle afternoon. And you have walked through it all. Through the colour, and the warmth, and the scents. Through the narrow stone lane, and back to the open fields. Up into this soft elevation, where you can see the whole story of the day laid out below you. You notice as you stand there how different your body feels from when you arrived. The edges inside you, the ones sharpened by lists and questions and unfinished things, have rounded out. The restlessness that once tugged at your thoughts has quieted, like a bird that has finally found a safe branch for the night. There are no demands here, no clocks that matter. The light moves, the air cools, the hills breathe in their slow, steady way, and you are simply here among them, as much a part of this landscape as the lavender and the stone. The soundscape has changed too. The distant murmur of insects is softer now, a gentle thread rather than a bright chorus. Somewhere far below, a dog barks, once, twice, then falls silent. A faint clink of dishes from the village reaches you, blurred and far away, already dissolving into the hum of evening. Above you, birds trace slow, looping paths through the golden air, their calls fewer, quieter, as if they too are winding down. The sun kisses the line of the farthest hills and begins to slide behind them. The gold deepens to amber, then to a tender shade of rose that washes across the sky and spills down over the land. The lavender darkens into richer purples, the shadows between the rows growing longer and softer, like folds in velvet. The first hint of blue rises overhead, a prelude to the night. And yet there is nothing abrupt about this shift. It is all gradual, graceful, a gentle hand turning the page. As the light fades, your thoughts grow slower, wider, less interested in details and more in sensations. The feel of the earth beneath your feet, solid and familiar. The slowing of your own breath, deeper now, as if your lungs are matching the unhurried rhythm of the hills. The way your shoulders sink away from your ears without you even asking them to. You realize that you do not need anything more from this day. Not an answer, not a resolution, not a moment of revelation. The peace you were looking for has not arrived in a single flash, but in a series of small, gentle invitations. The curve of a lavender row, the hum of bees, the scent of bread, the coolness of stone, the glow of the setting sun. You accepted each one without quite noticing, and now here you are, standing at the edge of evening, full of a quiet you can feel all the way down to your bones. Night begins to drift in around the edges of the sky. The last streaks of gold soften into dusky violet, mirroring the fields below. The air cools another degree, inviting your body to rest, to loosen, to let itself be held by the deepening dark. There is nothing to do, nowhere you need to go. The hills will keep watch. The lavender will breathe its slow, fragrant breath into the night. The village will fold itself into its own dreams. You take one more long, unhurried breath, and with it you gather the softness of this place, the calm of these rolling hills, the warmth of the fading light. You know, in the quietest part of yourself, that you can return here whenever you wish, to these fields, this village, this sunset, simply by closing your eyes and remembering how it felt to stand here at the end of the day completely at ease. Now, as the last light gently slips away, you are invited to do the same. Let your body sink into whatever holds you now. Let your breath move like the breeze over the hills, slow, steady, effortless. Allow your thoughts to grow dim and quiet, like the fields at dusk, until all that remains is the soft, steady comfort of rest. When you are ready, let yourself drift into sleep, knowing that this peaceful lavender landscape will be here, waiting whenever you choose to return.